All right. It's Tuesday, March 26th. I'm Larry. I'm here with Boiler Sports fans, and I'm going to talk about the tournament that was last week and the tournament that will be. The Big Ten sent 6 teams into the tournament, and 2 of them showed themselves to be frauds, as I predicted. In fact, everything went pretty much as I predicted, except the ease with which Purdue won their games. Shame on me for not looking at that and realizing that I was just being pessimistic. But the first total fraud was Wisconsin. Wisconsin should not have been in the NCAA and would not have been if they hadn't won a game against Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. And they won that with tremendous help from the Big Ten refs, who helped them Hollywood Zach Edey out for about half the game. And then Purdue also helped out by missing some free throws. I take a look at that and I say, Wisconsin, you were a fraud. Your schedule, the first part of the season, was filled with home games against the easy Big Ten opponents. And oh, you went 9-0. And then you had to play some tough opponents on the road, and you had to play some tough opponents at home, and you melted like a cube of ice on a 100-degree day. You were nothing. And you went into the tournament and you embarrassed the league. Shame on you. That I've got that out of my system. I feel better. The other fraud was Nebraska, a team that's very, very good at home and not so much on the road. And since this was not a home game, oh, then not so much Nebraska, huh? So should they have been in the tournament? Well, maybe you reward somebody for being 9-0 at home. Okay. Uh, did I think they were going to go anywhere? No, and they didn't. They went out in the first round. Now, the two other somewhat pleasant surprises, because I would not have been shocked by either Northwestern or Michigan State going out in the first round. But both of them gave me a pleasant surprise, won their first game and lost their second. Northwestern, I had difficulty with because of their injuries. I just thought that was going to be too much. And by the second game, it was. Michigan State proved you don't want to tangle with Izzo the first week when he's an underdog in the NCAA. But the second week, the second game, it caught up with them, and they played like Michigan State, and they were out. But 1-1's not bad. So those 4 teams left the Big Ten 2-4. Then we come with Illinois, a team I said was going to make the Sweet 16, and by gosh, they proved me right. They went 2-0. Very well done, Illinois. And their reward is to play a number 2 seed, a number 3 seed that should have been a number 2 seed, but a number 3 seed, Iowa State. Iowa State on paper is the best defense in the country. And they're playing Illinois, which is the best offense in the country on paper. That's a game that's going to be worth watching. Now, all the talking heads are saying, take Iowa State, take Iowa State. A few say take Illinois. I'll tell you, I wouldn't bet this game. I'm going to enjoy watching it. I'm picking Illinois to win it. I think Illinois' prize is to go on and play Connecticut. And I'll tell you right now, if there's one team that can beat Connecticut before the Final Four, it's Illinois because of their offense. Iowa State has a very good defense on paper. They did themselves they racked up those points by gaming the system. They played a very weak non-conference schedule, which is why they weren't granted a 2 seed. And that's going to show up against them, and Illinois is going to win because they've got Terrence Shannon. He is going to score from the outside. He's going to score from the inside, and he's going to, if he has to, and I don't think he'll have to, because he's got Hawkins and other players with him. He's not alone out there. But if he was, I think he could still do it. He'll carry them to their match with Connecticut. I'm going to watch this game and save my thoughts for what I think will happen against Connecticut, but I think he can carry them against Iowa State. That being said, we now get to Purdue. Purdue gets to play Gonzaga again. You will recall that they took Gonzaga down by, I think, 12 points in the first round of the tournament. And everybody talks about, oh, Gonzaga's improved. Well, yeah, I watched, replayed that Purdue game, and then I watched them play a later game against St. Mary, which, by the way, they lost. And they were a better team. They had made some substitutions in who they started, and they definitely did look improved. So well done, Gonzaga. However, I've also been watching Purdue, and they were good when they beat Gonzaga. And since their loss to Wisconsin, they are much better. And I'll tell you why. Uh, Gonzaga's got four big men they can throw at Edie. Uh, None of them are outstanding. None of them play much more than 20 minutes a game. Except I think I got one that plays 30. But their big men don't play a lot of minutes because they get tired easy. Uh, they're able to dominate uh, teams that have, 6'9", 6'10" people. Can they dominate Purdue with 7'4" Zach Edey and 6'11" and 6'11" in first and um, Trey Kaufman-Wren? I don't think so. I think Purdue's big enough and has enough depth that numbers won't bother them. Short of the official stepping in and calling touch fouls on Edey, I think the front line game is secure. The other thing you hear is how Gonzaga's point guard will dominate Braden Smith. I don't think so, but even if he does, Purdue has more in the way of guards than Braden Smith. The last couple of games have brought that out. Braden Smith has not played his best game in the tournament yet, and still the Purdue guards have pretty much dominated. The other guards have stepped up and shown that they can play with the big boys. Lance Jones, Fletcher Lloyd, they're doing their job. But what I'd really like to point out is Purdue's big improvement over the season. And well, maybe Painter's planned this and been developing it all season. If so, Coach of the Year uh, is Miles Coven and Camden Heide. Miles Coven is like 6'5". He's a big guard, a big wingman. And Camden Heide is what, 6'6", 6'7", another big wingman. And Camden Heide is fierce underneath. He's not afraid to go in and slam dunk on guys 6'9", 6'10". Doesn't bother him at all. He is a player, and I'm going to predict now. Remember the next year that I said this now, he's going to be the team star. He's going to be the one. He's going to be the one that goes in and dominates outside and inside. Both Heide and Coven can play defense, and they're big defensive guards. And both of them can shoot from outside. And Coven can go in into the bucket too. He's not afraid to take a shot under the bucket. So you look at that. You go deep into Purdue. You look at Wilberg and Caleb First. They can. If they have to come in, they're not going to hurt you badly. They're going to help you a little bit. So with that, I look at it. It says that Purdue is a 4.5 to 5.5 point favorite. I would not bet this game. I wouldn't bet any game. But they're trying very hard now to get people to bet on Gonzaga, which means I think they know Purdue is going to win. And I'll go out on a little bit of a limb and say Purdue is going to win by more than 10. And I wouldn't be stunned if it isn't a butt kicking. Now, maybe I'm just getting too much of a fan. We'll see. But I'll make another video after all this and we'll see how sharp I was. You take care.